Hello everyone! We are back again with more Ace Attorney investigations. And since we're on case 5, this is what the screen looks like now. I had a feeling it would look like this. I had a strong feeling. Anyway, let's load the game. Let's start more of case 5. The big one. The big one. Yeah, here we go. Hey David, good evening. How you doing? Welcome to Ace Attorney Investigations. We're on the final case of the first game. But how was your day today? How's you doing? So listen up. We're not going to press any of these except for this one here, okay? You ready? Yo, check this out. I wanted to play Santa and give it a try.
Hold it!
You suddenly went to play Santa? Oh, well actually, I dressed up as Santa once before already. That was down at Gourd Lake. Grr, I appreciate it if you wouldn't dredge up such unnecessary memories. Okay. Very well, how was my day? It was very chill. Just another chill day at home, with not much going on, aside from getting ready for the stream here. Heh, sounds like you guys share a lot of history. A perk to being childhood friends, huh? Besides, it's not a felony to dress up and play Santa, you know? Hey Hedgewolf! How you doing? Are you ready for more game? Santa doesn't go around killing people after he comes down a family's chimney, after all. In horror movies he does, but that's another story. Actually, is it worth delving into whether or not playing Santa is a big deal? Of course. Actually, I believe in the case of this man, playing Santa is actually quite a big deal. Are you saying that your buddy isn't exactly made of Santa-quality stuff? Precisely. You hit the nail on the head, Agent Lang. Hey, Edgy, that's so incredibly mean. Tell me something, Larry. Did you know that Santa's job is to deliver presents to people all over the world? Of course I know that. I did graduate from junior high, you know. In that case, it's your turn to tell me something. You're good? You're good? How am I? I'm doing awesome. We're playing more of this game. I'm ready to play more. I hope you're all ready for some wild and crazy stuff. I want you to tell me to whom you were delivering a present to. I was, delivering a present to a child not basking in the warm glow of love?
Objection!
That must be the most elegant description of you I've ever heard, but a lie is still a lie. You sure know how to kick a guy when he's down, you know that? In any case, the person you wished to deliver a present was unto was most certainly this. It was none other than...
Take that!
her. Interesting taste you have there, Mr. Suspect. Don't spread lies about me. I totally didn't want to see Miss Oldbag so much that I'd try and go down a chimney. Ow! I advise you to stop right there in your bashing of a lady. Well, I must admit that I myself hardly ever have the want to run into that lady. However, what if you were misinformed and under the wrong impression? Then what? Define wrong impression. I simply mean that the man before you thought to enter the old lady's room without knowing one very important fact. And that fact is best summed up with this. It is this.
Take that!
This is something the old lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess, Mindy, was it again? It seems that this man is quite taken with that actress. But that's not true, Edgy. Excuse me. She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell you. You filthy, despicable, inconsiderate, fickle, idiotic, cowardly apparition of a man. You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes? This guy, he's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it. I suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much has been made clear. Without any knowledge that Miss Mindy has fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way into the Pink Princess's room. That much we know for sure. Excuse me. Hey, Edgy. Looks like I've got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up! I see what's going on here, and it looks just like what you do in court. I guess old boy here just has something he'd like to say. Ling Zi says, until the root of the tongue dries out, one never knows who's the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out in the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright, then get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in a battle of wits. Larry, have you forgotten that should I lose, your victory prize will be your arrest? Yep, Larry's still a big idiot. So you think that all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. Then to top it all off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? Hey, someone say something. Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this, not as a confession, but as a testimony? Larry needs help. Oh, yeah. He sure does. And the sad thing is, he'll never get it. So what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? So it was you. You're my stalker. But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man and one man only. As lovely as he who is alive. Can't jump him and be unfaithful. No, I can't. Although earlier today, I one wolf man, who was playing colors, through my Aji for the rest of eternity. Ah, I'm so inspired. You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around complete worthless man. Thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there is nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you've still got something to prove. You still have to show some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy, everything is evidence in court, right? Edgeworth also needs help. Oh, yeah. Edgeworth definitely needs the most help here right now. Oops. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, see? I'm totally pro at this now. Very well. If you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. Think all I want to do is go visit Mindy? Yeah. You did want to visit Mindy. And do you know how I know that? Because of the letter from a stalker. You were not a novice in this game, Ultima? Well, I'm looking up a guide, actually, David. I beat this game already, and I'm just streaming it for you all. I'm showing you the amazingness of the Ace Investigation games until I get to the second game. Then I will try not using a guide. No promises, but I will. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey, whoa, why are you showing that thing to me? Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing. Stars over Hyrule, you're the first one here! Woo! How you doing today? What's up? You can pretend to be ignorant all you'd like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Glad to see everyone here, by the way. Always appreciate you guys stopping in. Objection! But rather, yeah, you were doing the thing. What part of this letter shows you the person that attempted to meet was Mindy? The recipient's name.
Take that!
Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again.
Well, what the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English.
You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became Wendy to the average eye. Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing.
There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching, but they will have to wait until we're off for this crime scene.
Eek, Edgy, save me from the scary man. Sure, if you're willing to make amends, starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake. That wasn't me. Come again?
It's a fake. Someone's out to get me, so they made that fake letter to set me up.
Accept your defeat graciously, but you guys are being so mean. Penmanship analysis. What's that? No matter who. All people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ooh, is this true, guys? Does everyone in chat have a unique penmanship to your writing? Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours, and we'll know soon enough who it is that sent this letter.
I'll never write another thing in my life.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight, for you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. Hello.
Take that!
This autograph and our mysterious letter, if we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure.
I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again.
I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head.
Edgy.
So, he finally confesses. Give me a second. Okay.
I saw the Pink Princess being carried away around in a stretcher and then got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in.
So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney. What a criminally overactive imagination. Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when I came down through the chimney. Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment. I'm really, really sorry. Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me, because at the very least, I can attest to that about you. Edgy, you're...
Ack, we've lost a lot of valuable time because of you.
Ow! And we did it, guys. That's the end of Case 5. Cool, huh? We did it. In any case, I believe we can say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Butch sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, was to enter the room of the elderly lady next door.
Great job, Mr. Prosecutor, although I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? Ow! Hey, what? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet?
He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head.
That's exactly what I mean. We can only rely on the words of the suspect, after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night, but the bloodstained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, long as there is no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite.
Edgy, that guy, he looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me. I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial.
Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely Bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got.
I can't easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble, but this is one game I can't afford to lose. Alright guys, what's the murder weapon?
I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damas II. Besides him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect Larry Butts, in here too. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse somebody simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence? You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. But come on, I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you, or me for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being. Meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. The body of the victim. Besides him was a samurai sword glaring red on the scent of blood.
Hold it!
Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood? Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Behind him was the samurai sword covered in the victim's blood. Suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing. Well, I suspect you're wrong. You know why? Because of this.
Objection!
Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? Yeah, it's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down, spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier, and as you can clearly see, the insides of the Steel Samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet there is not even a dent in the samurai's sword. How do you explain that? Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily, but I wish they'd make them out of the better stuff because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him? What a bonehead. Youch! That's more than enough of you, whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do now for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken, for no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place.
Objection!
What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolishly foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory.
Hold it!
That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on toward the truth. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor, but you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damas 2 without bending it. So what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need? Of course. What I need is evidence even he can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Time to bring this to a close. It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We've searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? How long do you intend to cling onto that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned, and we have managed to come up with the only one logical conclusion, that the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword.
Hold it!
You left no stone unturned, is that a fact? If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear to you. It's possible to use the samurai... No. No. Who do you think the murderer is, by the way, guys? We've pretty much seen everyone in this case so far. So who do you think the murderer is out of all of these peoples? Of, the two peoples? Maybe we'll see today! Anyway, press.
Hold it!
The only place where you could find blood was on that samurai sword? That's right, even with luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Ling's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? Yes. I don't know, maybe one of the dead guys? Okay, it's one of the dead guys. Who do we have as a dead guy? We have this person. We have, this person. We have this person, and this person. Or no, this person here. So who could it be? Who could it be? Which one of those three? To do a possibility. Then let me to force open one for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. Ha 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 ha! The real murder weapon? Hate to repeat myself, but my men already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they've concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course, because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men.
Hold it!
I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damas 2, what exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this. It is... What do you know? The statue.
Take that!
The national treasure of Alabast. You mean... the Prima Duck statue? Yes, as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it, which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? Ha 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 ha! You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babel. The two countries
precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction of the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different, and there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba, and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He is most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please listen. Let's be rational about this. Grrr. Lang Zi says, just go already. Yes, sir. Shifu, yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I wasn't able to convince the ambassador. I wasn't able to obtain permission to use for us to examine the Primadox statue. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. You may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you gotta be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry and examine the statue already. What? But Shifu, what's about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem if something were to happen to me. Alright then, let's talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, like to run a luminal to test on the statue. A luminal test? Ah, good thinking. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here. Heh, looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Dimas too. Indeed, but I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Dimas too, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining the statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Heh, you think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Okay. We should examine the head. On closer inspection, it really does look a lot like the Steel Samurai. Hey, maybe that's why they chose him to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I actually can't discredit that hypothesis. Or maybe the people at this embassy just really like the Steel Samurai. That's absolutely preposterous. I don't think it's that unlikely. We mustn't go around denouncing people's opinions. And yet look how easily you discredited mine. Not that I care why they chose him. Yeah, weird, huh? With his sword drawn and ready, there's a certain aura of valor around him. Lang Zi says, those who hold a sword hold an equally strong will. It's said that the weapon of one holds reflects the strength and will of one's character. Wonder if this was created as a show of the country's majesty. Oh, that must be then what Franzie's whip says about the character. It says that I'm ready to exact punishment on those who would break the law. What are you glaring at me? Why are you glaring at me? I thought you understood that I'm not the killer. I believe in your case she wishes to exact punishment before anything else happens. Ha 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 ha. Hey, a shield. There is a shield on his back. I wonder if that's supposed to mean that his back is covered. Lang Zi says, those with a shield on their back deflect all enemies behind them. It means that he is ready for any blindside attack that may come his way. Agent Lang, there's no need to attach overly complex meanings to such simple things. Ha, you didn't seem to get Lang Zi's saying, so I was just explaining it to you. That saying itself is what I was referring to when I said overly complex, you know. Awarded! Lang Zi says. Oh, look what we have here, guys. Well, well, well. Okay. Yeah. And what do we have here? Give me a second. Okay. That dirt smudge. It looks like a handprint. You think Edgeworth is a fanboy of the Steel Samurai? I think he might be too. I have a sneaking suspicion
What a definitive bit of evidence, like you doing under here. Looks like we got some fingerprints to analyze. Good. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry, but it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Hey, forensics guy, I want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good. And, sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue, well, you know the victim of the murder in the Babylonie's embassy? The prints belong to him, to Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's impossible. Each Primaduck statue can only be handled by someone of that country, but by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babel's Primaduck statue. Impossible. It can't be. Larry never once set foot on Babylonie's soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Alabestian knife in Babel. And Dimas too was killed on Alabestian soil with Babel's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yadagarasu, who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. Oh my gosh, guys, what is going on here? Oh my gosh. Save the game? Somebody wants to start a war? Yeah, maybe. Someone wants to do something, that's for sure. Oh my gosh. That's what I say, stars. Oh my gosh. I've left the Dimas 2 investigation to Franziska and returned to Babel. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babel's statue. Mr. Edgeworth! It's okay. What's the situation? Oh, it's great. Investigating is so much fun. In other words, they've made absolutely no progress. But we weren't goofing off, honest, sir. We've been investigating our hearts out. Very well then. Would you care to give me an update on your investigation? Oh, we've had a really fun time, sir. I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? You have permission to enter the Alabestian embassy, is that correct? Yep. As a local detective, I'm helping out with investigations on both sides, sir. Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. Oh yeah. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask. The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday. Oh, understood, sir. Happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, I guess I'll unload them somewhere. He doesn't seem that all that enthused to go find her, but I can't blame him. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either. What? Are you really going to throw that autograph away? Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake. Wait, what? What do you mean by fake? Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping. Okay. Hey, you're not going back to Alabes already, are you? No, not yet. I have to gather a bit more information first. Hey, what's this? A ladder. Actually, that's a step ladder. They're the exact same thing. No way, from their structures up, they're totally different. But of course, from the thief's perspective, the best kind of ladder is the rope ladder. A step ladder is much too heavy to carry around after all. And from the prosecutor's perspective, any type of ladder is guilty of being dangerous during an earthquake. Hello. So you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these you can eat whatever you like. Oh my gosh, more coupons! And these are? Discount tickets for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern, however. These coupons do nothing for me right now. Right. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract the extra bit of attention to Babel. I heard that tonight over in the Alabastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Cochin told you that? Yes, he did, which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to, because of the fire the Yatagarasu started. The real villain is the coupons? That's the real villain, the coupons! And I keep getting more and more of these things. We're getting too many villains, Hedgewolf. This is not good. Ambassador Paleno, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Primadux statue. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Did you know that Alabast and Babel used to be one country called Codopia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Primadux statue belonged to the founders of Codopia. At least, that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed under the King of Codopia as a symbol of the country's wealth. But was meant as a symbol of sovereignty and the right to rule, I take it? Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's pretty petty when you think about it, though, I suppose. But if Alabas and Babel were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? I have no reason to believe so. The Primadux statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if Ambassador Paleno knows about what has happened to the very important key to diplomacy. Perhaps I should try showing him this key and see what he has to say about it. Ambassador Paleno, there is just one thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes? Oh, and don't worry. You can ask me more than just one thing. About 2 or 3. In exchange, I expect you to be coming to Babel, yes? Thank you, but just one thing is all I require. Manny Cochin, I'd like to ask you about this man who was your secretary. Sure, I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperations, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put it in one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose because he was an able man, I was unable to detect his dirty dealings. It sounds like Mr. Cochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny has been really busy. Since I became the Babelese representative at the Country Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? Oh, well, you see, had tonight's events proceeded without a hitch, our 2 countries were to reunify and become one again. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon. I suppose not. Well, fudge. What about, the key? So this key can become a knife. That's some trick. This key was originally stolen from your embassy 7 years ago. Yes, this is fascinating. Are you listening to me at all, Ambassador? Wow, this is really very fascinating. He's so absorbed in playing with the key that my voice is failing to reach him. Alright, that's obviously not the right answer. Ambassador Paleno, if you could please take a look at this for me. The Primadux statue sitting in Alabas right now actually belongs to Babel. So it would appear. I received a call from Miss Von Karma about this earlier. Then you will understand why I wish to inspect Babel's Primadux statue immediately. Because the statue currently is in your country's possession. Yes, well, I've already inspected it myself, and it is definitely Alabas statue. I know because it's the real statue. Then you're saying that Babel's was a replica? I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I received my orders from the leaders of Babel, and I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at his event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the result of the evaluation tonight. To say that we could not determine which statues was the real one. Why are you telling me this? Well, because you already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Even if Babel were to lose face, the reunification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic?
Well, okay.
Okay, so we're done talking to him. Hi, Gumshoe. Good to see you and hear your music again.
Mr. Edgeworth!
You look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective.
Well, don't have much else that I enjoy as much as good investigation, sir.
So, what did you find out?
Ah, well,
I take it he has found nothing of any particular use, as usual.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got something really interesting from Ambassador Paleno.
Oh, and what is this something interesting?
This, sir.
Wow, that's so pretty. I'm so jealous. That's a real treasure there. Why does this flame burn green, Detective?
So apparently if you burn the special white crystal oil they only make in Babel, it burns this green color, sir.
Interesting. So it's a special property of the oil. I suppose this is a ploy to force people to visit Babel should the oil run out. Hey, Gummy, what about these silhouettes?
They stuck out some cutouts on the outside of the lantern so it'll project the images.
Oh? Silhouettes, huh? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation.
Hey, what's wrong, sir?
There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much?
Uh-huh. You got it, sir.
Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff?
Ah, well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner.
I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant. I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Okay. Hey, where are you going? Are you heading back to Alabest? Yes, but before I do, suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in both countries using an object from the other country? That's the gist of it. Babel is just as strict as Alabest in their inspection of the police and of the people and things that enter their country, meaning that somehow both murder weapons were smuggled into the two countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries.
You mean the fake Yatagarasu?
In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of this I am sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was in the Rose Garden on the Alabestian side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of this boundary. It's where Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight. At least that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it's vital that I investigate the Rose Garden post-haste. Wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? My guess is that it's a guitar pick. I picked it up just now over there. Do you think it'll be of any use? There's a little water on it, but how did the water get on it? It doesn't look like there's anything it could get wet on from around here. I was thinking, they have concerts here at this open air stage from time to time, right? Alright, I'll find its owner later. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this? What is this? It's misused perfume. It's the bottle that woman left behind and that I found 7 years ago. Thought that one day it'd be of some use in tracking her down.
Oh, hang on a minute. Okay.
Oh, I keep it safe at all times. Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to it for you. Alright. Guess, we're out of here. I think I'll be returning to the investigation in Alabest now. I know, I'll go back to Babel and do some more investigating there. I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. It's Franziska! Again! How are things in Babel? Although I can't really say expect much from Scruffy and that girl. the investigation into Manny Kochin's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has. Ah, yes, the Yatagarasu. Even now I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries at will? Preposterous. Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where witnesses claim to have seen the Yatagarasu. That's correct. Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight here in Alabast, and that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly, it vanished. Wouldn't the perfume have lost at least some of the smell by now? Yeah, probably. I think she just keeps it just to keep it, though. Just to remind herself who the big guy, the big bad guy is. After that, there was the fire and the Babalese embassy, and the Yatagarasu started. Wiggle, wiggle. I vow that not a single feather from the Yatagarasu shall escape my diligence. And here we go. First, let's get this out of the way. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir. And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and 1 person ran out of light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find out anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lang. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor, I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Alba? We're to wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of today. Oddly enough, we will receive word from HQ to return home on an urgent matter. As if I can be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the light. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time, so naturally, you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw the thief, alright, with my own 2 eyes. The Yatagarasu was always there, lurking in the shadows, but when the spotlights were turned on for Ambassador Alba's speech... Hey, Mafia! How you doing? Welcome back to the stream. I hope your day was good today. I know you came in this morning with a quick lurk, but I hope I hope your day was good. How you doing though? A shadow appeared. That was when cries out of the Yatagarasu rang out. I've been doing homework? Oh no, not homework. Mafia, you should just tell the teachers, no, I'm not doing it. I think it'll go super well, and it'll be amazing. And you definitely won't get into trouble for sure, right? Right? The next second, the spotlight went out, and by the time we got the area lit up again, the deaf thief had vanished. When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all of the outdoor electronics. You already tried that? Oh, and did it not go so well? Fudge. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, the Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that basically all you saw was the thief's silhouette? They said too bad. Man, they said too bad. What a bunch of bloopadoops. Basically all you saw was the thief's silhouette. Yes.
Objection!
If all you saw was a shadow, then it's entirely possible that the shadow belonged to someone else. Heh, good thinking, sis. You just might be right. If it weren't for the fact that there were no one else with that same shape, not among the staff. Among the staff? Among us? The staff are the audience members. My men have already done a thorough check of everyone, so I know I'm right. Floopadoop, floopadoop, and among us at the same time? Could be worse, they could have given you more. I know, more homework. Ugh. Someone else's shadow? That sounds like a plausible hypothesis. I think that's it. Okay. Hey, a statue. The statue bears a resemblance to the Primaduck statue. The plaque says King Primadux and the battlefield. In order to save the queen, King Primadux put his life on the line and went to war. So Primadux was actually a person of royal blood. I thought he was simply someone imitating a character from an ancient legend. Well, what surprises me is that a real person who looks like the Steel Samurai existed. Suppose there's that too. There are roses scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. Not just for aesthetics, the pool's water is also used in putting out fires. I see. Oh. The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to open until the pool's water reaches a certain level. If this water is used to put out fires, I suppose it must be refilling to its normal level, which suggests that this pool was recently used somehow in this embassy. I guess I'll take some notes about it, just in case. Ah! Ah! No! Ah! How dare you surprise me like that? I'm sorry. Oh, hey Edgy. Thanks for what you did back there. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment. I know that. Do you really think that I'm the type to just jump into a pool to swim around for fun? Hey, Blue Thunder. G.I. How you doing? It's good to see ya. Alright then, did you by chance fall into the pool? Hi! What's up? Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right, Edgy? Your son? I guess I kinda lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. And I'm pretty sure he was around here when last saw him. You imbecile, how could you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do if your son fell into the pool? How old is this child of yours anyway? Huh? Oh, how old is he again?
Hold it!
Larry, this is the first I've heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? The mother? Oh, that chick, the pink princess. The pink princess?
Hold it!
Miss Von Karma. I was a bit confused by this man's words for a bit there. However, I believe what he is looking for is the doll of the Iron Infant. Yep, because I'm the Steel Samurai through and through, heart and soul. And the Iron Infant is my cute little son. You have given a whole new meaning to the phrase, an astounding fool. Larry, we have not seen hide nor hair of the Iron Infant, but rest assured that if we should find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of there. Sounds good. In that case, I'll go search over there. Hey, wait! Well, it's not as if he'll get very far swimming around in that pool. And though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble. I am doing great today, Blue Thunder. How are you? How's life treating ya? Oh my gosh, guys, this Larry guy, huh? A statue of a woman. What if the lady is pouring water? It says that it's a statue of the queen who spoke love to the king of Primadux. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it seems that you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. Open my mouth about a statue and she somehow makes the leap to that. The sudden appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I figured out its true origin. I expected no less from my subordinate. Now let's hear what you know on the subject. Really cast the shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe it's none other than the king.
Take that!
The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. Is it not possible that it was created by this statue?
Objection!
Are you playing me for a fool, Miles Edgeworth? The statue bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Yatagarasu. You are correct, however the statue is but one part of the whole picture. What do you mean by only one part? What is the other part to this real form of the Yatagarasu shadow? It's this.
Take that!
It's another statue? The Yatagarasu shadow was made from the shadows of these two statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now, the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were moved when the guests were in a panicked state. However, if we were to restore the lights to where they were when the thief appeared, you believe that the two shadows will create the Yatagarasu's shadow? Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Yatagarasu. First, if we set up a spotlight to cast a shadow of King Primadux and the battlefield, the shadow of the knight's statue would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Likewise, if we set up a light to the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux, you are okay, you're watching this new show of Marvel, Agatha All Along. Isn't that a Scarlet Witch kind of thing? From that Scarlet Witch show? She has her own show now? Her silhouette would also appear on the backdrop to the stage. Aha, so if we were to combine the two shadows, it looks like nothing like the Yatagarasu shadow. Miles Edgeworth, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Franziska. The way the light needs to be shown on the Queen's statue is wrong. What do you mean by that? I believe that the whole of the King statue shadow needs to be in use for this to work. However, in this state of the Queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. Rather, the person who created the shadow only used one part of her shadow. Only one part? Yes, and that one part alone is enough to fill in the rest of the Yatagarasu shadow. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? You're right, I apologize. Now, which part of the Queen statue was used to complete the Yatagarasu shadow? It was this rose! Nope, it's this. She was in Wanda Vision show, and she has her own show. That's interesting. By the way, guess what, guys?
Take that!
Give me a second, folks. Okay. Think back to what is missing in our shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? Ah! That's right. It can only be the shadow of the Queen's left hand. Franziska, can we please adjust the spotlight's position so that it only shines on the Queen's left hand? Alright, let's give it a try and see what we get. It's... Yeah, this is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's positioning beforehand, and then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. In their panic, the guests must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume was also part of the culprit's plan. By the time the light came back on, the Yatagarasu shadow had vanished, which means that the shadow was a construct from the very beginning. So you see, the Yatagarasu never did visit Alabest tonight. The only country that Thief visited was Babel, although it can be assumed that the Yatagarasu had an accomplice in Alabest. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show, since that the biggest clue yet to solving this case is the existence of this accomplice. Yay! How's the investigation going? Detective Bad, have you come to join us in investigating the Yatagarasu? I've left the murder in Agent Lang's charge, and my only target from the very beginning is the Yatagarasu. So yes. So? What have you found out? I got a piece of evidence. May I see it? Sure, but you might regret it. We're here because we are ready to face whatever may come. So if you please... When people heard the commotion, bystanders stood gathering, and one woman claimed, "I'm telling you, I'm a genuine international journalist." She gave me an interesting picture. A journalist? Well, actually, she's a freelance cameraman. This is the photo I got from her. Oh dear. What in the world? It was in the Wanda... Oh, I read that. What in the world? The Yatagarasu is flying through the air? The times they are a-changing. It's not just man, but evidence. Even they lie to us now. When was this photo taken? Apparently, right after the fires on the 4th and 5th floors were put out. It was taken from nearby a building that you can see the embassy from. I see. So this was taken after the fire. The blur in this picture took off from the Babylese embassy, flew over the boundary, and headed for the embassy of Alabest. This is simply not possible. People are incapable of flight. Is that a fact? I've had the pleasure of dealing with a case involving a flying person once. Actually, come to think of it, I've come across a case like that as well. 2, actually. Remember what cases those were, guys? Let me get a drink real quick. Ah, good cheese. Maybe it happens more often than we think. Am I up to the task of solving the mystery? You're New Wolf? You're the New Wolf. I guess you have not seen those cases yet. I know at least Mafia has, at least. The mystery behind this photograph? Well, the Yatagarasu took off from the Babylese embassy, so I should start from there. Franziska, I need to return to the Babel investigation for a bit. Alright. Alright. I'll continue investigating on this side of the building. Alright, I'm counting on you. Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Now come on, let's get back to our investigation. Yes, let's. Whee! In we go. Guess we're entering this room. Give me a second, folks. Okay. To think, after all that running around, we are right back where we started. It would appear that way. Hi, Mr. Edgeworth. Have you found Manny's killer yet? I'm terribly sorry, Ambassador Paleno, but I have yet to find his killer. Then I guess his murder really was the work of the Yatagarasu. Let's get one thing straight. It was the work of the fake Yatagarasu. The real Yatagarasu is a noble vigilante who is only out to steal the truth. Miss Faraday, please don't make such a sad face. If there's anything I can do for you, all you have to do is ask, alright? Mr. Paleno. Actually, there is one thing you can do. Will you allow us to take another look around? We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier. Oh, sure. Please feel free to investigate at your heart's content. Also, there are a few questions I'd like to ask you personally, Ambassador. If it will bring a smile back to Miss Faraday's face, then I'll gladly answer anything. Thank you, Mr. Paleno. You're a total gentleman. You don't have to waste such nice words on me, little miss. Hey, Sir Paleno. Those two sure get chummy awfully quick. You know, it's easy to say we're going to investigate, but where should we begin? We should probably start by comparing the state of the room before and after the fire. And then we should look into the matter of the suspicious person you spotted. Yeah, when I came into this room, the person was already gone. But I'm willing to bet that the person I was chasing is Mr. Kochin's killer. We don't know that yet. However, it's hard to believe that person is unrelated. Furthermore, because the key the Yatagarasu stole 7 years ago was found here, it signals that perhaps Miss Yu is also somehow involved. I knew it! That woman is almost definitely Mr. Kochin's killer. Yet again, we don't know that. There are too many mysteries to be solved here. Speaking of the Yatagarasu and mysteries, I received the most mysterious photo from Detective Bad. Uncle Bad? He's taking part on the investigation too? Yes, he has been chasing after the Yatagarasu for all these years. Uncle Bad? Now then, I was told that this photo was taken just after the fire. What? That kinda looks like the person in the long coat I was chasing. Does this mean that I was chasing the fake Yatagarasu after all? I don't know the answer to your question, but I don't think people can fly either. But this could be how that person escaped. Well, we need to investigate a bit more before we can say anything about that. In any case, let's not dwindle anymore and pick up our investigation where we left off. A statue. So this is the real Primaduck statue. This is really valuable, right? That's what they say.
Hold it!
Okay, you're not seriously considering the theft of this statue, are you? No way, Mr. Edgeworth. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. I was just calculating in my head how much the statue is worth. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. That's sus, guys. Now then, Ambassador, I'd like to ask about your movements before the fire broke out. Before the fire? Which fire are you talking about? Which one? There was more than one tonight? Huh? Oh, I see. I guess you didn't hear about it. We had 2 fires here at the Babyliss Embassy tonight. What a bother all of that was. But the only fire we know about is the one after the Jammin' Ninja show. Ah, well, the first occurred at the start of the Jammin' Ninja show. Luckily, only the 4th and 5th floors of our embassy caught on fire. Not wanting to cause a panic among the theater goers, we decided to keep it internal. And the fire after the Jammin' Ninja show was the second one of the night? Exactly. The fire I witnessed was the second one. Come to think of it, didn't Detective Bad make a reference to the first fire? When was this photo taken? Apparently right after the fires, on the 4th and 5th floors that were put out. I suppose this means that the photo was taken just after the first fire was put out. So then, what was the extent of the damage in the second fire? The second fire was contained to this floor, the 3rd floor. I think it was left over in embers from the fire on the floors above it that caused it. That's, how should I put this? Very bad stroke of luck. My office on the 5th floor, Manny's office here. And Manny himself, all gone in the blink of an eye. I feel so sorry for you, Mr. Paleno. Oops, look at me, going on and on. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask again? We were discussing what your actions and whereabouts for today were, and if you happen to know what Mr. Cochin's actions and whereabouts were as well. Yes, very well, let's see. I've been quite busy all day from morning until now. First I woke up and then I brushed my teeth. After that I had a roll for breakfast. Fascinating. How about if you just skip to the relevant parts for me? Oh, you would like a condensed version? Alright, I can do that for you.
Oh, great. I have the hiccups now. That's gonna be cringe, guys.
So what did Mr. Cochin and you do this morning? Well, originally, we were supposed to meet and shake hands with the Jammin' Ninja, but Manny and I wanted to turn it into a photo op, so we were here tidying up his office. You helped clean Mr. Cochin's office? Why were you not cleaning your own? Oh, I think I forgot to mention this, but my office is currently undergoing renovations. Which is why both the Primadug statue and the Babyliss knife are down here.
I see.
Oh, but the tidying didn't take much, really. We just burned some files we no longer needed, and expired coupons in the fireplace. I bet cleaning up the fireplace must have been a real pain, though, huh? Ah, about that. I kinda forgot to clean the ashes out. I guess I'm up a creek without Manny here to get angry at me.
No more coupons, please. Please, let's get rid of them.
An ambassador like yourself has been on the receiving end of a secretary's anger? Oh, he was very good at being very mad. Why, even just this morning he got mad at me. I spilled some Babyliss ink onto my back wall when I was burning the files, you see? And he got mad at me, saying that I should treat the ink with more respect. Are you losing? Yes and no, as you are soon going to hear. How you doing, Hellfire Skyrim? What's up? Talk about the boss getting bossed around. That's about it for what we did this morning. Just some cleaning. Don't tell me you had no other work to do, being an ambassador and all.
Yeah. At least I'm streaming a game that has a lot of dialogue, so it's extra hilarious.
Did you hear about how Ubisoft is going down the gutter?
No. Let's hear it. How are
Ubisoft going down the gutter? Well, Manny and I went down together to the Theatrum Neutralis. We had to be there for the start of the Steel Samurai stage show. After the show started, I went back to my office on the 5th floor alone.
So they were together until the start of the Steel Samurai show.
A little while later, I had straightened myself up a bit and returned to the theater. because I was to take part in the photo op on stage at the end of the show. Stock prices plummeted? So what does that mean? I don't know anything about stock prices, so I might need more of an in-depth report here. It was a fantastic photo of the three of us, Ambassador Alba, the Steel Samurai, and myself. Excuse me. After the photo shoot, I went back to my office on the 5th floor to prepare for my handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja. He seems to be rather overworked for an ambassador. When I got to my office, that was when the first fire broke out, and I escaped down the stairs. My office was completely destroyed, but thankfully no one was hurt. Well, I admit I ran away from the first fire as fast as my legs could carry me. But during the second one, I pitched in and helped the embassy staff put it out. So you didn't see Mr. Kochin again after the start of the Steel Samurai show. Yes, that's right. Next time I saw him, he was lying there in an eternal sleep. I see. Ambassador Paleno, I thank you very much for your help. I'm sorry. I couldn't be of more assistance, Mr. Edgeworth. If there is anything else, please don't hesitate to ask, alright? Okay. Ubisoft might be going away depending on if they can fix it or not. Actually making a good game for once. Oh dear. Get with it, Ubisoft. I forgot what games you make, but I hope you fix it. Alright, I need to go to the table, because I did not examine the table last time. It appears that this area was heavily damaged by the fire. Yeah, I guess we should hurry up and get started examining everything. Won't rest until I've inspected every single piece of looking nook and cranny. There's a bottle of Babyliss ink on Mr. Kochin's desk, and it looks like there's still a lot of ink left inside. The seal is unbroken, so the fire probably couldn't get into the bottle to burn up the ink. Hey, Mr. Paleno, looks like your precious Babyliss ink is already after all. What? That's odd. Ambassador, what do you mean by that? Well, it's just that there is something strange about the ink. Would you mind elaborating on that statement for me, please? Yeah, what's the deal, bro? I wonder if you might tell me what you notice about Mr. Kochin's bottle of ink. I just thought of it right now, but during the second fire, Manny was worried about his office, so he came rushing back to it. I called out to him, and when I received no reply, I used my spare key to open the door. But when I did, I was greeted by roaring green flames. The flames were so big that I wasn't able to see into the room at all. The fire was green? What was the cause? Well, white crystal oil burns green when it's lit, as you can see by this lantern. And Babyliss ink is made from the same oil, which means it would also burn green. You know, I too had thought it was Manny's ink that had caught on fire, so that's why I was surprised to find out that there was still a bottle of ink left on his desk. The case of the perplexing green flames. Talk about a mystery. Where exactly was it that caught on fire in here? Does anyone have a cure for hiccups, by the way? Just curious. It would appear that this desk also fell victim to the fire, but it doesn't look too damaged. Oh, I think we can rifle through this drawer a bit. Suppose we really should take a look. Excuse me. This is a rather unique unusual shape for a notepad. Suppose this must be another souvenir from somewhere. I guess so. But I'm going to do this. Wish you had a cure for hiccups. I know. No. Do you have the hiccups too, Edgewolf? Or do you have them often? The drawers survived the fire rather well. Now that's a sturdy desk. Guess that's the value of a solid wood's construction. Let's see if there's anything useful left in here, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay. Deduce. I'm gonna guess this. The shape of this notepad matches the shape of this note we found. Hey, you're right. What is it? It looks like something straight out of Monument Valley. Ah, yes, that notepad is a souvenir from somewhere in your country. Don't have them often, luckily. That's good. Not too often, that's good. Yeah, I barely have them too. I can only think of 3 or 2 other times I've had the hiccups on stream. We've been collecting them for purpose of studying them. Yes, I do. You do seem to be quite passionate about it. Oh, would you like to see my souvenir collection? I'd love to show it to you. Are you sure they haven't been burned to a crisp by the fires? Ambassador Paleno, I wonder if you might recognize the handwriting on this note. This looks like Manny's handwriting. I see. In that case... Oh, did you figure something out? This note was found in Alabast. Specifically, it was found being firmly grasped by the murdered Dimas II. Dimas II? Then this note? Yes, it was a request from Mr. Cochin from Dimas II to steal the Primadux statue. What? Manny? Tried to steal Alabast's Primadux statue? We won't know for sure if we could run a handwriting analysis. Ambassador, do you have any documents that were handwritten by Mr. Cochin? Yes, I can gather a few and give them to you. I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe later to run the analysis. I can't believe that Manny would even think of doing something like this. Do you have any idea as to why he would have requested the theft of the statue? There is one possibility, but mind you, it's just my personal speculation. Anything you can tell me would be of great help, Ambassador. Yeah. What's going on here, bro? I believe that you said you might have an idea as to why Mr. Cochin hired Dimas II. Actually, I fear it may be my fault. As I was telling you earlier, we were to determine which statue was the real one as a part of today's event. But because of the Yatagarasu and the fire here, that got cancelled, didn't it? I'm actually relieved the rest of the event had been cancelled. For you see, Babel's statue, well, it's just a replica. And did Mr. Cochin know about Babel's Primadux statue? Of course he knew. That's why he was the only person I could consult with. We'd have to do something once our statue was revealed as a replica. As to be expected, I was very nervous today, as this would impact our country's authority. Yes, I understand. Well, when I told Manny my concerns, he said, "Let me handle it. It'll be alright. I'll find a way to make sure you're the ambassador of the reunited Kotopia." At the time, I thought he was just trying to cheer me up. But when I saw that note, I realized he was serious. Mr. Cochin conducted a lot of business behind your back. I assume he did all that to ensure that you are the next Kotopian ambassador. But why was he trying so hard, I wonder? He was so much better at getting the things done than I ever will be. I don't have an answer to that. I don't have an answer yet as to why he was trying so hard. But I suspect he had an ulterior motive in mind beyond just simple kindness. Oh, here you are, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh. Detective Gumshoe, have you collected the information that I requested? And please stop your hiccups, Detective. Yep, got it all right here, sir. Here you go, Kay. Feel free to look. It's for you, after all. What is this? What is all this, Gummy? It's all the information on this room that I got from the embassy and Interpol people. Now we know exactly how this room was before and after the fire. Good work, Detective. Well, it was nothing, sir. I'm an expert at getting people to talk. Wow, you two remind me so much of my father and Uncle Bad. What do you mean? As prosecutor and detective, your dynamic is just like theirs back in the day. Alright, new plot point. Everyone in this game has the hiccups, okay? Well, don't you worry. I'm going to find my own wonderful partner someday. And when I do, I'm going to become a good Yatagarasu, just like my father, right? Please don't ask me questions to which I have no answers to, Kay. However, I can say that it is truly a wonderful thing to find a partner you can trust. You bet! So what now, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I'd like to ask you for a favor. Yes? That gadget, Mr. Thief, is it? That thing you call your secret weapon. Oh, you mean Little Thief? You're coming to rely on it, aren't you? I don't need a crutch like that. I'm only asking because I need it for the investigation. That was a loud one. From the information Detective Gumshoe gathered and the ambassador's testimony, I'd like you to please recreate this room as it was during the third floor fire. You got it. Alright, here we go. Dark skies of evening, when no bird dares to take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Oh gosh, here we go. It seems, that there are other things besides what the ambassador mentioned that have changed. It's possible that we might find the escape route the person K saw used as well. Oh, what is this? Is it some sort of light show I was not told about? This is the power of the true vigilante. It's recreating the room with the info I inputted. Really? This is certainly one interesting device you have there, Mrs. Faraday. Ahem. I believe it's about time we return to our investigation. Ow, ow, fire! There must have been a large... These must have been the large green flames Ambassador Paleno saw. With flames like these, it's no wonder he couldn't get in. Okay, by the time you came into this room, had the fire already been put out? Yeah, the fire died out or something by that time. Then the fire here is only burned from the time the fire started on the 3rd floor. Until the Yatagarasu appeared and caused a stir in the babel, I suppose. I guess Mr. Paleno was just lucky enough to run into the fire as it was burning, huh? Oh, hang on a minute. Give me a second. Okay, discover the body. We can assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person you were chasing, of course. I knew it. That person I saw was definitely up to no good. I mean, that person could even be Mr. Cochin's killer. That is very likely to be the case. After all, that person came into this room before you, and must have chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here. Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it went to prevent anyone from coming in. But then, what did the person set on fire to make the green flames? Well, whatever it is that person burned, it made a rather sizable fire. And since the fire is green, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? It's a bit tinier than these flames, but you get what I mean. Yes, I do believe that what you're thinking is exactly why these flames are green. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames? Fire-related evidence. The bills?
Take that!
Okay, well. This is why we use a guide, guys. This is why we use a guide. Once again, I'm jumping the gun. Honestly, apologizing this time for being wrong? What? I'm always honest. And that's a good thing. Now just keep on doing it. Oh, I need to think about things a bit more carefully. They call the answer should come to me. Green flame is the same as the other flame. Okay. Apparently, it's this.
Take that!
The silhouette lantern. Its green flame comes from the white crystal oil it's burning. Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green it gives off. I think we've now established that the green flames were caused by white crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there is only one other thing made from white crystal oil. Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Paleno was mistaken about, right? Yes, precisely. As we found out earlier in our investigation. What? I don't get it. Can you fill me in, sir? Fine, I suppose. I'll explain it in a way that even you can understand. It's the thing made from the white crystal oil that Ambassador Paleno was mistaken about. Alright. We do this.
Take that!
Okay. Beverly's ink is made from white crystal oil. Oh, so it should burn the same color as the flames in the lantern, right? Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from a bottle of Babbly's ink. Because we found the ink Mr. Cochin used on this desk, right? Yes, however, we know that Mr. Cochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with that ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flames. Oh yeah, I'm beginning to really feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. Heh, it would appear that I finally found it. The smuggling ring's real goal. Oh, smuggling ring's real goal, guys. Now it's the counterfeit bills.
Take that!
What would consume that great of a volume ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that the smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zhangfa. You're kidding! You're saying that it was Mr. Cochin who made the counterfeit bills? I am. I believe you could even go so far as to say that he stole Babbel's printing press. Ambassador, Mr. Cochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correct? Why, yes, and I do remember seeing him use it in the middle of the night, but never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed. Ambassador, because of your secretary's crimes, you will need to be investigated as well. Yes, I suppose so. We've caused a bit of trouble for a few countries, haven't we? My duty is to search out all who shielded Mr. Cochin and concealed his crime, for they are the ones who started the fire in order to destroy the evidence. Alright, how about the grandfather clock? This grandfather clock, it was apparently in a different position from before the fire. According to the staff members, the clock was flushed against the wall before the fire, sir, which means that most likely it was moved by someone during the fire. Speaking of which, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I don't hear any chiming. Huh? That's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot of every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged its internal mechanisms or something. Ambassador Paleno, may we look inside that clock? Sure, go right ahead. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please inspect the insides of the clock. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir. It looks like a length of wire, so this is what caused the clock to stop chiming. But what was a long length of wire doing inside this clock in the first place? Wire? Why would someone do this to such a valuable clock? It sounds like it wasn't Mr. Paleno that put the wire in there, and perhaps it was Mr. Cochin's killer who did. Looks like one of the Babbelese knives was already missing from before the fire began. So it would seem, especially since the other two knives' handles were burned away. The remaining handle was swapped out with the handle from the real murder weapon, and Babbel's national treasure was stolen. Poor Babbel, don't you think? I'm not sure I would lump the replica statue in with the rest of Babbel's woes. What is all this? So Babbel's really into publishing the tourism industry, huh? Yes, it would appear that way. You know, I'd really love to take a trip. Hey, why don't we take one after this case? Do you really already have a destination in mind? Well, ideally I'd like to go someplace where I can continue my thief training. Well, if you want to learn the fine art of stealth, perhaps you should visit the studio where they make the Gem and Ninja TV show. Hey, that's actually a really great idea, Mr. Edgeworth. I can't believe she took me seriously. Guys, all of the pamphlets are here. They're all here. We found all of the murderers. Wow! You can see the Albestian embassy through this window. You sleepy? Aw, good night, Mafia. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Oh. You can see it from here. I was there on the 5th floor. That's where Dimas 2 was killed. What? You don't mean the Dimas 2? Aw, poor guy. As a fellow second-generation thief, I just can't turn a blind eye to this. Even though Dimas 2 was merely an imposter of the original. A fireplace, huh? So Babbel's offices have them too. Two? There's a fireplace in relatively the same location in the Albestian office. However, we found something there that I'd rather not recall ever again. Still can't believe that we found that undershirt in the fireplace. There was that traumatizing. Why don't you try creating new memories with this fireplace? You could climb inside and we can play hide and seek. And come out covered in soot? I think not. Aw, you really have no sense of fun, Mr. Edgeworth. That looks like a very comfortable chair. Well, it doesn't look all that broken, so why don't you try sitting in it? No, I'd rather not. It's very important that we preserve the crime scene at all times. Wait, but you're always touching all sorts of things at the crime scenes. That's because I'm a prosecutor and it's part of my job to examine things. My job is to be a great thief, which is exactly why you are not allowed to touch anything. The desk is largely unchanged from before the fire. Yeah, just got a little burnt, that's all. It's a very fine desk, but I'm sure that even now it's still unusable. If it's that great, then why don't you trade your desk with it? No. It was just a suggestion. You don't have to get all mono-symbolic on me. What do we got here? It's the charred remains of a fallen ceiling fan. Oh, I've seen a few of these before. They spin around and play music. I believe you're thinking of musical mobile for babies. Yes, that's it. But they're nothing alike. They're totally alike. They spin those babies right around. They spin those babies right round like a record. I see. Guess I see how you might think that. The Primadux statue has already been swapped, right? Must have been, as this one is covered in soot. What lousy timing, and just like the two countries were about to become friends again, too. Would have been better if I had stolen it than for it to get caught up in that fire. Okay, I think I understand your sentiment. However, if you were to engage in theft, I can't look the other way, right? You could please stop stealing my lines. Do we have logic we can do? Renovation, it's connected fireplace. Alright. I don't know what else to check, so... Okay, we speak to Gumshoe. Detective, you took part in the initial Babel investigation, correct? Yep, sure did. I also helped put out the fire, sir. But that first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the 5th floor. First I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea because it was in use. If I hadn't remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd have been burnt to a crisp. Wait, that's odd. Always warn our staff that in case of a fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator. Oh? Maybe someone wrote it in the fit of panic. Detective, did you see the Yatagarasu that came into the Babel embassy at all? I didn't personally, and the other staff members told me that they never got a good look at the person either, sir. I wonder if you could tell me a bit more about what you discovered, Detective. The second fire broke out around the time of the Yatagarasu was spotted in Alabast, and also when a suspicious person was spotted in Babel, which caused some panic. So no one was able to get a good look at this Yatagarasu that entered Babel? Yeah, all they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. That's not enough to make a positive ID, you know? Still, it was enough to make people who received the calling card panic even more. A person in a long coat sounds like the exact same person I saw. The Yatagarasu that appeared in Alabast was proven to be just a fabrication, a shadow. In light of that fact, the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel is also a suspect. You can't be serious. Not when we're this close to capturing the fake. Callisto U. So the Yatagarasu appeared, caused mass confusion, killed Mr. Kochin, and then disappeared. By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu? I did, but, well, this embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members when I was with, and was lost for a while there. You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective? I'll be sure to do that from now on, sir. But you know, it was thanks to me being lost that I was able to come to Kay's rescue. Oh, is that a fact? Yeah, it was when I was lost and wandering around in the 3rd floor hallway, sir. When I heard a scream, I headed toward it right away. Oh, that's probably when I found Mr. Kochin's body. Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got real worried and ran as fast as I could. And it was thanks to Gummy that Miss Sheena wasn't able to take me away. He covered for me until you got here, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, I see. So he can be useful once in a blue moon. Still, it's too bad that Agent Sheena got here before I did. I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here. Well, just before I got to this room, I saw her coming out of the room next door. Agent Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yatagarasu herself earlier. Well, she apparently helped in putting out the first fire. Then during the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yatagarasu. She seems to be a very dedicated agent. You would do well to learn from her. Why are you pointing at me when you say that, sir? I've examined everything in this office, but there is one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask Ambassador Paleno about it. Ambassador Paleno, there's something I'd like to ask you about. Yes? About this office, it appears to me to be very similar to Ambassador Alba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock. Oh, that's right. You also paid a visit to the Alabastian side of the embassy. Our 2 embassies actually used to be one. Yes, I know. Even the pamphlet mentioned that. Which is why the building is biliterally this symmetrical. so no matter which room, the location of the fireplace and the like are exactly the same. Even where the art is located is the same, as my room is currently under renovation. We worked hard to make Manny's room look just like the ambassador's office. You mean for your handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja? Yep, that's right. I mean, what's a photo like that worth if it's not taken in the ambassador's office, right? Got another odd expression of Babel's obsessively competitive spirit with Alabast. I take it. Thank you, Ambassador. That piece of information is all I needed to connect the dots. Connect what dots? Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to be of some help. I guess it is time to do this. Time to hiccup annoyingly. Boom. Boom. The Alabastian and Babbly sides of the burning are symmetrical to each other, and as we know that to be a fact, then this room's fireplace may also hide a secret passageway. Secret passageway? In Alabast, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall. A revolving wall? Sounds like something out of a ninja house. Wow, there was a trick like that built into the fireplace, sir? What? This embassy holds that kind of secret? There seems to be a lot about this room that you don't know about, Ambassador. I guess it's time to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and what you know about this room. What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's get to the bottom of this. Agreed. And my first thought is that it's likely the killer used the revolving fireplace. Looks like just another fireplace, though, doesn't it? So how do you turn it again? In Alabast, I had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace. Oh, I see an X back there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it.
Hold it!
Ah, you scared me, sir. There is something about this fireplace that lies in contradiction to the facts. Huh? But we found an X where you thought there'd be one, right? We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from this scene. What does this contradiction mean for us? Every suspicious nook and cranny. I might know, but just in case, I'm going to... Okay, the logs. I want to know which one it was. The logs and burning files and fireplace left ashes here.
Eureka!
Ambassador Paleno, you said that you burned some old files in this fireplace today, correct? Yes, I burned quite a few files this morning, actually. Ashes, right? Ashes to ashes. And after you did, you forgot to clean out the ashes from the fireplace, correct? That's right, but why are you asking? And why are you making such a scary face? I'm sorry, I admit I am a bit intimidating when I'm serious, in any case. Take a good look at this fireplace and tell me what you find odd about it. Let's see. Huh? Where did all the ashes go? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't really think that Ambassador Paleno is lying, do you? No, there's no reason for him to lie. And I don't believe his testimony is wrong either. It is the fireplace that is causing the contradiction. Okay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace status for me. You got it. I'll add in the ashes from the burnt files, and... Sounds like we've got pretty much figured everything out now, huh? Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us. Oh, I sense it coming on. You're about to dazzle us again, right? Oh, you mean that? Well, that's what Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know? There's really no need for you to dance around the name of what I'm about to do. Yep. To check this area, but never hurts to take another look. Objection! Alright. Revolving fireplace used. Missing ashes? The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple. It's not because someone cleaned them up, right? No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is too clean for that. Ambassador Paleno said that he spilled some Babyliss ink when he was burning the files, and yet there is not a trace of the spilled ink on the back wall anywhere. Well then, I don't know what happened. Well, I'll tell you what happened. The two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moving into the neighboring room, which means that this is a clear indication that the fireplace was used. Alright, then you mean the person I was chasing disappeared from the room through there? Yes, I believe the person you were in pursuit of is Mr. Cochin's killer, and after committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out the killer's escape route. I have, but this is only the beginning. Now we have to chase the killer down. Well, guys, guess what it is? It is... escaped through the revolving fireplace. Sheena's location. If the killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next, then it's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room. Well, the person that was in the next room was... Oh, it was that person, sir. Yes, Detective, Agent Sheena. Well, well, well. Do we have our murderer? Give me a second, guys. Give me a second, guys. Okay. It's looking more and more like Miss Sheena is the killer, isn't it? Let's not jump to conclusions yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next one and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Cochin. I don't have any proof yet, but however, I know she is hiding something from us. Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Sheena herself? No, not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe? Sir, is it my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I have a two-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on DMAS 2's note. Okay, I'll get the lab boys on that right away. Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall. Right now, sir? No, next decade. Of course now. We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we? Go on, Gummy. You can do it. Alright, I'm gonna do this like a real man. Here I go, through the fireplace and back. You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective. Excuse me. Wow, the inside of the fireplace really did turn. That's so neat. Now I want to try going through there too. There really is a secret passageway through there. I had no idea. Would appear that the ash really was pushed into the other room. Furthermore, the Babyliss ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall. Okay, here we go, sir. The Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same condition as the killer. Huh? But there's all that ash and stuff. And your point is, now we're short on time, so if you could please hurry on through. Yes, sir. Okay, so now we pretty much have the whole picture, right? No, not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve, such as the Yatagarasu's whereabouts, the other smuggling ring members, the two weapons that made it across the border, the key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies. Mr. Edgeworth, a number of pieces connect in a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said it'd be easy if you follow the leads. Was that supposed to be an impression of me, okay? If it's info gathering you need, Gummy and I can help with that. Then all you have to do is show off your fancy, smanchy logical deductions. Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that? Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? We've been so focused like a laser on only what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think things through calmly, the answer should come to us. Okay, that's the sort of thing I say to myself. when I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know? That is something that I hope to practice doesn't make perfect for your sake. Yay! It looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back, sir.
Yes, I can see that. Good work, Detective.
Cough, cough, cough. Looks like you can use that fireplace like a door, sir.
Are you alright, Gummy?
I'm okay. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all.
Your jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem has practically turned black.
Yeah, well, quite a bit of the unburnt ink got on it, sir.
I see. Thank you, Detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bill for the trench coat.
What? Oh, no, sir, I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. It was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it clean, but, you know.
I see. Very well, then. As you wish. BRB. Alrighty, Edgewolf. No problem. So basically, because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it can be used, right? Yes, but that's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact. And that is... I'll have to explain it to you later. Right now we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Detective Gumshoe?
Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it.
The handwriting analysis on Mr. Cochin's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let us go and wait in the Theatrum Neutralis, along with Agent Lang and Agent Sheena. Hoo. How exciting, guys! March 14th. That's a ways away. Agent Langzy says, "Little cubs, never do they know the real fury of the Elder Wolves." These quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. And what does that mean? It means that you'll never really know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor, the counterfeit bills made with Babyliss ink, they were all of Zangfa's denominations. Yes, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. But we don't know where the play money has gone. They must not have figured that out, that it was all burned yet. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zangfa's in a financial chaos as we speak, because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. But it's not just the money. The citizens are also worried. I've staked the honor of the House of Lang on this, and have come to this land to capture the mastermind behind this whole mess. Investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zangfa. I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first, and now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, Don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh, no. It is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. Only I was able to think of a better solution. Quercus, you fool. Curse your empty brain. Heh, you're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes, I don't like to admit it, but there's not much else for us to do but to go home as well. Agent Lang, a moment if you...
You, Wolfman and the secretary lady, hold it. Objection, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already?
Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Cochin, sir.
Just as I thought. Good work, Detective.
Kill.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, how long do you intend to hold us up for? Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes? How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu? when you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Cochin was killed. I'd like you to explain that to us.
What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, what are you doing asking her about something she didn't see?
Agent Lang hasn't touched the Babel investigation at all, so I suppose I will need to explain a few things to him. First, Miles Edgeworth, I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh? It sounds like you have some sort of plan. Very well, I'll supervise you until the end. Is she seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day?
You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you?
I'm not trying to pick a fight, and the evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see.
Ha, I should have known that you and I are destined to fight it out to the very end.
It would appear that way.
Well, I'll prove her innocence, so let's see what you've got, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
With pleasure. For my opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel, and establish exactly who it was Kay saw. Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony.
You mean the suspicious person in a coat that she saw?
Hey, Captain Chips. How you doing today? What's up? Captain Chips, do you know a quick cure for the hiccups, by the way? And hey, Geek and Rat, you're here too. How you doing today? Welcome to Crazy Ace Investigations, where we are just about to catch the quote-unquote real killer. That's right, the person is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu pretended, and what do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second. If I'm honest, you've been the hiccups like once in the last 15 years. You cannot help you there.
Dang. Well, get ready for a lot of hiccups this stream.
It happened right in the middle of it. You couldn't sleep? Oh no. Maybe my soothing voice will help you sleep, Geek and Rat, as we solve the murder. My soothing and angelic voice, am I right, everyone? Haven't been on Twitch in forever. Well, I'm glad it's good to see you again. I hope you've been well. I want to review what Kay's mystery person did. Kay, if you could please explain for us what the person you were chasing did. Okay, you got it. I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babel side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. I thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase. For the sake of argument, let's call the suspicious person the Yatagarasu. Back. Hey, Edgewolf! Welcome back. How you doing? You're just in time for big times. Now, please tell us what happened when you chased the Yatagarasu up to the 3rd floor. Can do. I chased the Yatagarasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Babel Embassy. It was pretty straight chase down the hallway until the sudden turn. Yatagarasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. While I turned the corner, I saw the Yatagarasu run into Mr. Cochin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. When I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light, but then... Who's there?
Or who's there?
By the time I had turned on the lights, the Yatagarasu had disappeared. When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lang?
What do you mean, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped out through the door behind the girl, under the cover of darkness.
Sorry, but I know for a fact that the person didn't escape through that door.
Oh, and how do you know that with such a certainty?
That's easy. If the Yatagarasu had left through the door, they would have run right into this person. they would have run right into Agent Shina.
Take that!
Your answer is Shina?
Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Yatagarasu had used the door. When Kei screamed upon discovering Mr. Kochin's body, the Yatagarasu would have run right into Agent Shina, who was in the next room over.
Arr.
Agent Shina, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see? Therefore, the Yatagarasu cannot have escaped through the... It just means that the creep slept out before Shina made it into the hallway. I doubt that, as there was another person in that hallway, a certain detective, Detective Gumshoe. Where were you exactly at the time?
Me, sir? Well, when I heard Kei scream, I ran toward Mr. Kochin's office from the opposite direction of Agent Shina, sir.
So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route.
Row!
Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. You nailed him with just an explanation of what happened. Give me a second. Okay. What an explanation of what happened. Yes, I have eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room, but this is far from over. I need to make Agent Lang aware as well of yet another possible escape route the Yatagarasu could have taken.
Ha 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 ha, I get it. So that's what you were trying to show me. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, then there must have been another way out.
Precisely.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to bust out with our revolving fireplace with all explanation, right?
No, not quite yet. Huh? But why? I thought this would be the perfect time. A revolving door wall on the Babalese side is known only to 4 people, and if we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end.
What's with all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics?
Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off.
That smug, haughty attitude of yours, you really rubbed me the wrong way, you know that? Well, no matter, I've figured you out already anyway. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. That's it. It's an eerie picture of said escape route exists. Are you saying that this photo captures the moment that the Yatagarasu's escape?
Oh yeah, this picture was submitted, Captain Chips. Another flying creature, just like that one other case. I guess Detective Bad must have filled him in on this photo. I have to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. However, I now know that to be impossible. Now I realize you may not know this, but humans can't fly. Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never said I thought that photo to be of the Yatagarasu's escape route. I suppose not. Alright, then explain yourself. The shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu that Kei was chasing after. You can say whatever you like in whatever language you want, but there's only one language I really understand, the language of evidence. Very well then. I present to you proof that the person Kei saw is not the same as the one in this photo. I gotta do the picture of the photo of the this.
Take that!
Let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in this photo is not the witness Kei saw. The Yatagarasu Kei saw, rather. Okay. Kei spotted the Yatagarasu heading for the 3rd floor during the 2nd fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the 1st fire. Grrr. Row! Or no, rather. Yeah, way to go. That's twice you bit him in the butt now. We're not done yet. You still have to explain what that shadow is. Now the Yatagarasu escaped, I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet. As I thought. However, the Yatagarasu's escape route, now that I can answer.
You can? Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on, enlighten me.
Hold it!
Even if I explain it, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Alabastian investigation, correct? In that case, I doubt you have much knowledge about the Babyliss side of the case. So wouldn't it be for the best if the lead on the side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead?
Sheena is my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eye and call her myself her boss?
Lang, it's alright. I can take care of him.
Sheena.
You shielded me a lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth.
Alright, if you're okay with it, then you have my support.
Finally, it's down to just Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it you'd like to ask? Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babyliss embassy? During the first Babyliss fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that had appeared in Babel. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. And that's all I have to say. But I'm not lying when I say I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Cochin's office. Like I said earlier, I had no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi. Is that correct?
Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic.
And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner?
Grr.
Not that it's unexpected for that useless lump to get into such a situation. You have no idea if this works, but people have told me to eat a spoonful of peanut butter to cure the hiccups. I don't have any peanut butter on me though. Man. I'll try it afterwards, after the stream. Hopefully it works. Mistakes go uncorrected.
I will make no excuse for what I did in that situation. Then you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be a killer, pal.
I'm sorry. Sheena, apologize. I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second.
And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena.
Let's put that to the test and see if she is really worthy of your trust. This promises to be interesting. I'll pose this question again, guys, since we've seen every character in this in this case already. Who do you think is the real murderer in this case so far? It's one of these people here. Who could it be? And why do you think it's the ex-security lady? Like, why would you even think that? That's crazy. Alright. 1, 2, 3. That was in the next gym. I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. Unable to catch a glimpse, huh? Well, what about the revolving fireplace? Babel Ambassador's too nice. He's sus. Oh, the Babel one, huh? He is a bit sus. He is a bit too nice for his own good.
Objection!
Being in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office is the problem with your testimony.
Not so fast!
Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all is.
Agent Lane, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Alabastian office fireplace?
Huh? Oh, you mean how it connects to the office with the room next door? What about it?
Well, Alabes isn't the only country with secret connected fireplaces.
What?
The fireplace in Mr. Kochin's office holds the exact same secret.
What?
The Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall and into the next room over. Now do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, then the thief would have run straight into Agent Sheena. Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu. What is the meaning of this, Miles? Well, would you care to explain, Agent Sheena? How you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu? Or shall I? Your claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? The truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, and you were the one she chased after. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Kochin's office and headed for the fireplace. Then you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Sheena. And then, you came back around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace.
How dare you make Kay look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal?
Sheena? He. That laugh. Oh my gosh, guys. I remember this irritating laugh. Brr, I'm getting chills down my spine. It can't be, but it has to be.
Sheena, what's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? Yes, that you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are also very strange. Do you think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. It's that prosecutor who is. Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. The Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed. That's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know, no, and that is why I won't hold on anything back either as I answer your question. My question? Here is your proof that the revolving fireplace wall in battle was used recently. The wall.
Take that!
I'm sorry, but is this really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to Ambassador Paleno's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Kochin. Oh? The ashes of what they burned was left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Hang on a minute. Okay. Why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up. Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Paleno said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Kochin's office is my proof. And just what is so funny? Ashes proof? You're even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court?
You still wish to fight us?
Of course. Why wouldn't I? In that case, let's hear your counter-argument.
For
My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court. Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in court.
Let's finish this here and now.
I suppose. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. In my eyes, all you've proved is that the rotating fireplace wall was used, but you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, now can you? So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation, and we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochin's office.
I'm gonna get another drink. I think drinking will help, guys. Should I breathe often too? I haven't been really breathing all that much this stream. I've been reading. More reading and less breathing. Maybe that's the big problem right now.
And there you have it, my counter-argument.
Arrgh! That's very impressive. She has seen through to the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence.
Breathing is good.
Nope, did not work. What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now.
If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest of it to us. But
Kay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not?
If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. This chase you're running to catch the truth, you must see it through to the very end. In general,
I should breathe, I gotcha. Good idea.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth. With pleasure. Looks like a lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it?
Sheena, please, show me you're somebody I can trust.
Don't worry, this will be the deciding match. You'll see.
I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang, but I simply can't allow her to escape me again.
Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin? I'm ready whenever you are. Sheena's rebuttal. In my eyes, are you proven? Is the rotating thing? Can't call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace. So then who was it that used the rotating wall?
Show me your answer with real evidence.
Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation. We found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochin's office. I mean, you guys found something. You found
the counterfeit bills!
Objection!
You didn't find anything suspicious at all? I highly doubt that. But I didn't. You can even ask the other men. I don't need to, for I found what you should have a while ago. Excuse me? In Mr. Kochin's office, there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there.
What in the... Ayah!
That evidence was something you found out through that girl's machine, right? So what if it was? Ah, that's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills?
No.
You see? So there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can't call evidence anyway. Speaking of things that you Interpol agents have missed, I did find one more. Your pompous attitude is unnecessary. All you require is the evidence. Very well.
I'll show her the hidden place of evidence that her and her fellow Interpol agents missed. I'm gonna present... Give me a second. Whoops. I'll find it, guys. I'll find it. Hang on. Else. Use perfume. Photo. Okay. Oh, present the previous evidence again earlier. Oh, maybe, this guide is not explaining this all that well. It said, only that. First present the previous evidence again earlier, then aim the cursor on the top of the map.
Take that!
Okay, guide. Good guide. Good guide. Present the evidence earlier. What evidence? Freaking idiots.
Not so fast!
Who wrote this guide? I admit it's not likely they would have overlooked it, but I've been regular investigation, and only thanks to Kay's gadget that we were able to move forward at all. Alright, we gotta save the game for a bit. Which means that I should show them what we found in that most unusual place. Alright, now I'll save here. I'm gonna try the wire again. Because the thing before said the wire as well.
Take that!
Why did this guide just not say the wire? Who wrote this guide? What sham artist wrote this guide? I'd like for you to take a look at the length of this wire. At this length of wire, rather. And what exactly is this supposed to mean? A length of wire? So what about it? I'll tell you what. We found this in the Babylonis embassy not long ago. What? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office. You found that at the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder? So I think you'll agree now that I cannot trust you when you say that Interpol has thoroughly checked every room, and that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Alright then, I ask you to point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena, and it is not possible that the reason the person K was chasing chose the third floor was because the person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there's only one location that no one has yet to inspect. Your team's investigation was incomplete because they failed to inspect this location. Right here. Right in this room.
Take that!
The location, Agent Sheena, is of course the room you claim to have examined. I believe that the room next to Mr. Cochin's office warrants a thorough inspection. Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you there. I will be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out the room next to the office. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think that Miss Sheena is the Yatagarasu? Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is. I'm not going to let her get away with ruining the name of the Yatagarasu. But can you prove she's the Yatagarasu in the question? Is the question. If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will find, then I'm sure that I should be able to. And just what are you hoping he'll find? Let's just say this. I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. An experiment? As if the detective had the brains for high science. Wasn't that mentally taxing? I had him use the same escape route as the Yatagarasu. And what did you find out by doing that? First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Second, that by going through there, his coat was covered in ash and Babylonis ink. Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth that much anyway.
Ah, but is it really worth so little? I believe that it's actually quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove.
Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir.
Oh, so what are these things that you found?
Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir.
You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Maybe it's the one person I was chasing was wearing. Yes, the possibility does exist. That's a lot of faith in Gumshoe. I know, right? But he's the best of the best we've got. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in that room when you examined it? Angel Love! You didn't do it? You didn't do it? Are you sure, Angel Love? Are you sure? How you doing, though? It's good to see you here. The room? Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Ah, thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. May I have them back now? You're good, a little sleepy? Oh no. Long day today? A long day, Angel Love? But I'm glad you're here, though, for more ace investigations. The detective brought back are incredibly significant. A request that we be allowed to examine them. They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission. I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation, but if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. You've been working on projects? Gotcha. Well, I wish you luck on your projects. Kick their butts, alright? I say let them look at your stuff, Sheena. Lang? Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right? I guess so. Alright, go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. After all, I have nothing to hide. Good. Now let us begin. So which of the Agent Sheena's belongings are you going to examine?
Examine, sir. Sir?
How about
The coat.
let's examine the coat.
Yes, sir.
It appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly. Agent Sheena. The Yatagarasu that Kei saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if the stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace. Aha! No, you have it wrong. That suit probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. And what about this dark substance around the hem of your coat? Oh, I didn't realize that the hem was dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping with the fire. I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie?
Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace.
Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. So unless you can prove that the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace, which I can, what? How? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe.
Me, sir? What'd I do?
This is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person Kei saw was wearing, and thanks to you, we proved that going through the fireplace would sully a coat.
I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir.
All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance on the coat hem is. Oh, and you think you can do that? Of course I can. This is the dark substance that sullied the hem of this coat. Obviously, the ink.
Take that!
Babyliss ink? Yes, this is what will prove that the coat went through the fireplace. According to Ambassador Paleno, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. You told us about that already, so I don't really see the point in mentioning it again. My point is that he spilled some of the ink into the back wall of the fireplace at the time. If the dark substance on this coat turns out to be a Babyliss ink, it would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace wall.
Ack.
Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu, but we're not finished yet. But you have no way of proving whether or not this Babyliss ink is on the coat hem. Oh, but I do, and I intend to show that it is ink in a few seconds. How? How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I will prove that the dark substance on the coat is Babyliss ink. I'm going to wear the coat. Yes. No, we're gonna burn it. We can find out whether that is Babyliss ink or not by lighting it on fire. That's how you are going to prove that it's Babyliss ink? Yes, if you could please cut a section of the dark stain area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now what the dark substance is. Sheena, sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead, I wasn't planning to wear it anymore anyway. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something. Oh, I've got some matches, I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs. And if I could please have one, Kay, we can get this experiment underway. The flame. It's the same color as the flame's white crystal oil it produces, which means Babyliss ink is a product of white crystal oil, and when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing. Miss Sheena, you're the fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father. It's about time you came clean, Agent Sheena, or should I say, Callisto you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you? Callisto you? I've never heard that name before in my life. That manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and then tried to frame me for it. That was not proper fire safety. Yeah, true. I mean, it burst into flames like before it hit the ground, so I think we're fine. Maybe fine. Oh really? Do you have proof? You insist that I am this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me. The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. However, the light of dawn that has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world. Enough poetry. I want to see some evidence. Do you really have something that could prove that she is Callisto you? I do. It's something that the second Yatagarasu had preserved for us these last 7 years. Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth. I will, Kay, for we have finally come to the end. We'll prove her to be Callisto you with this and clip the Yatagarasu's wings for good. How about...
Take that!
This perfume, this will prove you to be Callisto you. It will? Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on here as well. This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Bern Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades, which means that your fingerprints are still on here, every last one. We can clear everything up if we were to compare the fingerprints on this to your own. Now come, Agent Sheena, you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? Uh-huh. Hee 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 hee. Yeah, okay, cool. Now she really lost her mind, huh? It looks like you've seen right through me yet again. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth. Callisto, you. So you've shown your true face at last. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than that time 7 years ago. Sheena, you're... Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. So you were a spy all along? A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after? Someone who has been feeding them the intel on Interpol all this time? Hey, you were right, Captain Chips. Sheena would be important later on. So there you go. Aha, very good. Maybe you're not as big of an idiot as I thought. Callisto, you, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. That's right, Callisto you. That's just one of my many names. But even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Callisto you. This time you won't escape. For this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used the Yatagarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in my side, just like your father always was. Okay, don't. I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father. For you really are just like him. Mr. Faraday too possessed such laughable honesty. Uh-oh! Kay! Ah!
You let Kay go right now, pal.
Always, and you're sleepy, and have school. Good night. Bye, Angel Love. I'll see you later. I'll let you know if Kay survives, alright? You despicable! Let go of me, you filthy! Arg! You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu. But that's impossible. My father was the one who created Little Thief. Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is?
Why it has 3 legs? Those are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be 1 step ahead. First, Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system.
No, it can't be! Did you finally figure it out? Do you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu? The real identity of the Yatagarasu is... Bern Faraday? Callisto U?
No.
It's neither! The real identity of the Yatagarasu is neither Bern Faraday nor Callisto U. But by the same token, they are also both the real Yatagarasu. Haha, how very perceptive of you. No way! The single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed. Mr. Edgeworth! No, I refuse to believe this. The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of the client corporations. Skill number 2. The Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. But who's the 3rd one then?
And skill number 3? The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. Ho ho ho.
Detective Bad!
It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on that case hid it all away.
You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu?
You. I've been looking for you for a long time, 7 long years, but I finally got you.
Aha, why Mr. Bad? Long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Why indeed? It was nothing personal, really. He was just another person I had to kill. How can you say that? I grow weary of this, hang on a minute, give me a second. Okay, I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time, I won't miss. Stop.
You!
Kay!
It's over, Sheena.
Your leg! Agent Lang!
Kirk! You idiot. What were you thinking jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for?
I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact that she is my subordinate. And as long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her, not even from you. You really are an idiot, you know that? Ha, that's fine with me. You should know that by now, that's just how I am. Hey, sis. Yes? I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please.
Sir. Hey, I found something.
What is this, sir? Looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle. This is the great find, Detective. Huh?
It is, sir?
Let's try pairing up this blade with this handle. Haha. You know this handle?
Take that!
I believe this blade actually belongs with the handle that was on the murder weapon. Hey, they fit together perfectly. This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched. I'm going to go return this Babyliss knife now. Alright, I trust that you'll make sure that it is returned to Ambassador Paleno. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it. Callisto, you. For the only time the handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Cochin's murder. Haha! Which means that you must be Mr. Cochin's killer. You killed Mr. Cochin with the Alabestian knife. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Babyliss knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. Hang on a minute. Okay. You used the fire to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up? Aha, you craft an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are two problems with it. Problems? In what respect? What do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? It was all so I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using the device at Gatewater Land, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. Aha! I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me? Yes, I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight, so I thought to use you, but pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal. You had another? Yes. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you, and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu. You were going to take little thief away from me? 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. Then the person who stole the Yatagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday? You. That incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu? Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now to this day. Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Cochin? Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. Cheap viewers on bleep! No one can even see it either. Smart detection. That's pretty cool. Alright, I'm just gonna deny you. The real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. You're done asking what you need to know, because if so, we should probably get going. And you're going to tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? Guess I should tell you then that I was the one who set the Babyliss embassy on fire. Why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all evidence of the counterfeit bills. That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do, but then why start 2 fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation after all. I've had my fun, now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Wait, I mean, Miss Sheena. Yes? When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks that I thought, well, that I should return them to you. Haha, you can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No, I want to keep them. Haha, suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will. Yay, arson! Yep. Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Agent Lang? Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. It may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg. Alright, it's finally over, Kay. I feel like I've peered into her heart a little, you know? And it's so cold and dark and incredibly lonely. The person who was giving her all these commands. The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed.
That person is the real ringleader behind this smuggling ring. Who do you think it is, guys, by the way? Who is the ringleader and the real murderer of this game? Of this case, rather? Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling for in the Gem and Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome. I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. Still say it's the Cabal Ambassador? Cabal Ambassador? Do you mean, which one? The Alabes or the Babel one? Oh, I guess it's that time already, huh? So it's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. You really done a lot for everyone all these years. Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Babel? Alrighty. Babel. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we did it. We solved everything. But that's just it. We haven't solved anything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring you, the Yatagarasu, was chasing after? The legend of that Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also a part of the Yatagarasu? As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad! Hey, don't take it too seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Unfortunately, it isn't. Uh-oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking on my chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Bad. Wait, no. You are no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagarasu. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Babel, most suspect. He's the one, we'll see. Mr. Edgeworth, here, I should give these back to you. These are the pages from my KG case files that the Yatagarasu stole from my office. Huh? Wait, what? Mr. Edgeworth, must apologize for last night. Oh. So the Yatagarasu who stole into my room was you, wasn't it? Wait, then that means... What? Tell me it's not true. Then that's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident, it was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the older sister of the victim in that case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings companies had with the ring, including companies that dealt with the Amano Group. Mr. Amano's conglomerate? We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings and as a warning to us to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then it was finally time. We had finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart, and Faraday, he died for it. But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim in the KG8 incident? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past, and that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU, she never had a sister. What? Then that means... Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was another pseudonym. From the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto this page in the case file, please use it wisely. Trump card? That photo that we snuck on there. Try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all these years ago. It's the mark of the Yatagarasu, but why? This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Kochin had on him at the time of the KG8 incident 10 years ago. That blood, is it from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU? Why would the card adorn with the mark of the Yatagarasu? The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggler ring boss used. Apparently orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it, and apparently it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. So you mean the cards were written in Babyliss ink? The fact that the card at Kochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. So that's what those white cards are. The great thief used that mark, that only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader that we were only a few steps behind.
Ho ho! Another? Oh my gosh, another cheap viewer's on. Go away, please!
And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you. What is this, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession, this important definitive piece of evidence.
But I thought it was stolen. How could you have it?
The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano, and he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. But we forced him to tell us where it was finally after the other day's kidnapping case.
But are they real?
They are real. The thing is just picking it up. The mod bot or whatever it's called. This video.
What? Don't come any closer. I'm warning you.
This is the same video as that one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. Yeah, it would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. That's what that prosecutor comes in, where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. Saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence.
Then that card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu?
But rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night, both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is... Whether you use them or not is up to you, but they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law. Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought to court that Mr. Faraday spoke of? Detective Bad, there is no limit to the law, for it is the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that, even now, you really are something else. I leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, the handcuffs. Time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu. Pops, don't ever lose your detective spirit.
Pops, why is this happening? This isn't justice.
Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now let's go.
Yes, sir. Welp. I guess we do the thing. Is this really the end of a legend? To be continued. Next time is gonna be pretty dang crazy, guys. Let me tell you that. Thanks for making all the most important evidence invalid.
Yep, pretty much.
So now we know who the Yatagarasu really was. And yet, there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons cross the country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Necessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged.
Hey, there's a VCR here, sir.
Now we can see what's on the tape Detective Bad gave us. This piece of evidence from the KGA incident hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us.
Sure thing, sir.
Ooh, it's time to watch a movie! Wow! This man it's Manny Cochin, and he's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like the footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KGA incident. The crime scene was the victim's own apartment, so the footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it.
But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to the case we're working on now, sir.
Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. A ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Movie time! Yup. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader.
Where? Where?
Nah, wait, what was that? Huh?
That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again.
Does anyone in chat know what a VCR is, by the way? Because that's what we're using. A VCR.
This car. There's something we cannot overlook.
What's that, sir?
Look here, Detective Gumshoe.
It's... you know damn well. But there might be people in chat that don't know, though. Believe it or not.
Take that!
Of course, I definitely know.
This is the national flag of the Principality of Codopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know that this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing it there? Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth, so you were here all this time. Hey, other ambassador. Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. Ah, if only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This has nothing to do with how careful you were. You've even watched some? Ooh, nice. Good old VCRs.
You idiot, Quercus! You couldn't chase after a simple thief!
Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest of the Alpestian and Babyles police? Ambassador, we are so close, just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind, and without my permission you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true. However, as he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabestian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends?
Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way.
Yo. He can still walk. Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Got shot in the leg, walked it off. Yep. Let's let a murderer run loose. Yeah, that's fine. We do it all the time. But yeah, Lang's a tough dude, let's just say. He's a tough son of a gun. Okay, well, I'm sorry to inform you, and don't take this the wrong way, I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Grr. Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. Arrgh, at this rate, our investigation will come to a close. Heh. Heh 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 heh. Ha 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 ha. Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm really glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You... No? The killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Heh, wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Lang Zi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damas 2's killer? Alright, who do you think it is, guys? Here, what's your answer? I'll give you like a couple seconds to guess. I want to hear your opinions. Stretch. While I stretch a bit because I'm all stiff and my bones are creaking and all that shiz. Ambassador? Ambassador who? Ambassador Babel? Ambassador Babel person? Cochin? Cochin or Ambassador? I'll tell you who. It was you, Franziska von Karma! Well, there you go. It was the butler in the bathroom with the hatchet. You're right, Blue Thunder! You're correct! You solved it! That's the end, guys. Thank you all for coming. I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite... Yow! Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. He called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabes and Babel, did you not? And where's your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good. Let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you, and you can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. It's cool that Annie had such a big influence on this game. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. Ha 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 ha! I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Arrgh!
Hold it!
Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part, and so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabest yet. If you let Kay in, then you've got to let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is going to get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well, but I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now, let's go. Well, guys, as much as it pains me to say this, I must call the stream here. I suggest coming to the stream in 2 days as early as possible, guys, because we're like really close to finding out the real murderer, like really close, and you do not want to miss the big reveal of the Babble guy. Or is it the Babble guy? Or is there a murderer at all? But yep, I'm calling it here. Thank you all for coming down. More games tomorrow. Your answer was good too. Yeah. But be well, guys. Love you all. Have a good nap. And I'll see you all on the tomorrows. Bye-bye.